Welcome to a new day. Welcome to a new month. Welcome to a new season. This is Tonya Taria from Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure of O.P.E, other people's expectations. Well, by now you know I'm all about being an undomesticated woman. And as we have shifted truly into summer, especially here in the Chi-Town area, the huntress is in season because she is rising to reclaim her power, reclaim her health, reclaim who she is. And today it's a little bit of a rant again, and more of a chastisement for my fellow goddesses in training. And why do I say that? Well, are you still playing at Rapunzel? Now, for anyone out there, I try not to forget that not everyone is from the West and not everyone is familiar with the old nursery rhymes and stories and fables and tales, particularly those associated with the Western world like Rapunzel. And essentially Rapunzel is this chick hanging out in the tower. I know I'm oversimplifying here, but she's waiting to be rescued. She's got this long, gorgeous hair, and she's waiting essentially to be saved, and as the story proceeds, she hangs her hair out her balcony window where she's trapped in her one room, trapped, constrained, domesticated. That's me throwing that into her own little room. And she basically hangs her long hair. She grows it. And she kind of hangs it out the window. And, one day she sees, this fabulous prince. And he seems so, stereotypical, come save me kind of guy. Riding on a white horse. And he climbs up her hair and basically rescues her. And, they live happily ever after in fable, story world, vision there. Well, that fable is so sad in the reality of life. Because if you're waiting and waiting for validation, if you're waiting for permission to get out of your current state, if you're waiting for permission to move up, to up-level your life, if you're waiting for permission to reclaim your fitness and health, guess what? You're going to wait forever in that tower, and you're literally going to be like the crypt keeper in Tales from the Crypt, laughing with the long stringy hair, with the bald spots. Because in 2019, particularly, there is no prince coming to rescue you. So my takeaway here, my advice to any woman who is stuck, who is still looking for permission and validation to reclaim her power, to reclaim her health, to break the silence, particularly to, no longer sacrifice herself and her health and her dreams and all that she is on the altar of O.P.E. If you're still waiting, it's not coming. There is no prince coming to rescue you. And I think that is largely a story that's used to reinforce conditioning and domestication that society and other dominant forces in culture and society, politically, socioeconomically, that especially too perpetuated by the media, is this notion of, be a certain way, be the kind of woman we want you to be what women should be, and you will be quote unquote rewarded by, that prince on riding around on that horse, will come to save you from your situation. That's not happening. Because the reality of it is, you are a human being. You have your own unique gifts and purpose in this life, and you cannot achieve any of that if you're waiting for permission. You can achieve none of that if you are unawakened. Take the red pill, ladies. Just like Neo in the Matrix, wake up. It's time to break the shackles of O.P.E, other people's expectations. It's time to bust and crush the patriarchy, misogyny, all those elements of destruction that subdue, domesticate, and strip down the feminine, the divine feminine essence that we all carry within us as women. And this is not to tear down maleness or any of that. This is about you as a woman having your own power, reclaiming who you are, you as a human being, taking ownership of your health and of your fitness and of your life, of who you are. That is intrinsic to the notion of self-care. That's really what self-care means. And that's why I constantly harp on the importance of self-care, because it is a powerful tool and mode for achieving true self-ownership and self-empowerment and advocacy. And that's why I continuously state and argue and yell from the rooftops that self-care is activism. And it is activism because it has its roots in self-development, its roots in civil rights, human rights, and it speaks to breaking down barriers. It speaks to freedom, true freedom. It speaks to self-ownership and personhood. Every human being that walks the face of this earth has their own unique intrinsic gifts, purpose, and they have a divine personhood that is theirs alone. And why should you, just because you are a woman, need permission to take ownership of that? That is a question we face in society today. That is a question we are seeking to answer. Actually, the answer is there. The answer is no one should have to. We are all autonomous, worthy creatures that walk the face of this earth. We all have divine humanity and personhood. And we all have the right to basic human dignity. And when you are constrained, stripped down, domesticated, conditioned, you are unable to access that. You are silent. And that's when opportunities for victimization step in. Brought in by power structures like misogyny and patriarchy that in and of themselves are destructive and toxic because they seek to take ownership and strip power away from other individuals. They seek to take ownership of something that is not theirs. And that's why we see so many women globally rising up. The Me Too movement. Movements moved by such adventurous and brave and bold young women like Malala, who had such hatred and continues to have such hatred and violence directed her way, to the point that she almost lost her life. And that's what sparked and awakened her. But it should not take that level of violence against you as a woman to wake you up. The huntress needs to arise. It is time. Now, if you're still stuck and struggling on that hamster wheel, going nowhere, and have not yet achieved the level of the undomesticated woman, it's time to start now. There is no better time to start than now. And I've heard it, and you might even be wondering, what does that have to do with self-care? Self-care is ownership, is self-advocacy, is breaking the silence, is smashing through barriers. And you need to learn to make the distinction between barriers versus boundaries. Boundaries calls for a recognition of your sacredness, of your sacred space, and ownership of self and ability to self-advocate. Barriers, on the other hand, are toxic. They're brought on largely by fear, and they suppress your ability to grow and develop and evolve. So we're not looking for that, because barriers allow nothing in and trap you where you are. So it's important to make the distinction between barriers versus boundaries. Boundaries are sacred. They make the distinction between what is and what is not, the distinction between what is self and what is not. It makes the distinction between the very, 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 very divine power to choose, of choice. And when you strip choice, you strip empowerment. You strip a large component of self. And even for those of us who believe in a divine power, the highest power, who believe in God, who believe in the Creator, the ultimate Creator, the one whose name is above every name, the one who knows all. Even that power recognizes the sacredness of choice. And whether we make the right choice or the wrong choice, it is ours to make as human beings, and no entity has dominion over that. And so as we truly step into the new season, the summer heat embraces us, awakens us, makes us uncomfortable, and causes us to shift and adjust to new things and to new flavors and to new experiences. This is Tonya from Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better, without the pressure of O.P.E. Find me on Instagram at Tonyetaria Health. That's TonyetaRiah Health on Instagram. You can always find me on Twitter as well as Titaria Health. And I hang out with my crowd on Facebook too. Just a few fellow undomesticated women. Join the conversation there. And stop on by to our space online at freedomatthecrossroads.com. Till next time, my sisters, rise.